so for those of you that watching at home that did not get to see this actually live this evening, that's okay. Thank you for watching this on replay, and hopefully I will catch you on the next one. But hopefully tonight's will be a really fun live. Now, go ahead and let me know that you're here as you jump in tonight. I have a lot of things to discuss with you guys, as you saw in the thumbnail. Obviously, a couple of big items that I need to talk to you guys about tonight. And also, let me know if my audio is okay. I definitely want to make sure that we have everybody accounted for before I start jumping into all the topics for tonight. So yes, RacerX Wednesday, we are back. We are live. It's been 2 weeks since I've spoken to you. The last time I was waiting on Hurricane Ian to come in, and it was pretty darn scary. So that is a part of tonight's conversation as well. Have several points I want to make on that, but a lot of car stuff to talk about. Put out a butt ton of content for you guys over the course of the last couple of weeks. And we're going to talk all about that today, including some upcoming content that I have planned and several other pieces of news. And I want tonight's session to be very, very interactive. I already see some moderators in here, so I'm going to go ahead and start saying hi to everybody. Let me go ahead and bring up my computer here so I can see things just a little bit bigger. And that way I can see just who I've got in the building. It's a little bit easier for me. Let me scoot this up just a little bit. Okay, so let me check and see who we've got in the building real quick, guys. I want to say hi to everybody before we get into the topic of tonight's live. And we will go from there. Like I said, a few announcements here to make. I want to really have a very interactive discussion tonight. Like I said, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. If not, let me know. Let's see, we got John H. Great work, RacerX. Keep it up. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. My man, Sovereign Knight Mod on the job. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate you being on for me tonight. Let's see here. He says he has the links already set up. That's awesome. Sound is good. Okay, awesome. So sound check is good. David Barlow is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Tom is here. He says, can hear you okay. Okay, so all systems go tonight. I'm glad to hear that. My man Aaron is in the building as well. Great to see him in tonight. What's up, X-Fam? He says, let's see, Jesus says, saludos, which is awesome to see him in tonight. Let's see here. Sovereign Knight welcoming everybody. Carrie's in the house saying hello. Chris is in the house. He's saying sounds good. All right, good to hear, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Cheapskate. Hello, everybody. We got Turbro. I like that one. He says, is the suspension the same on the RT as it is on the SXT, the GT, or is it stiffer? You know what? From a suspension perspective, I think it's pretty similar. I don't know if there's really a whole lot of difference between the RT. Obviously, the RT does not come with the dynamic suspension modes. In terms of, is it any more stiff than the SXT or the GT? That's actually a really good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I would have to look that up. They're going to be similar. I know that. Like I said, you don't have the dynamic suspension modes in either the RT or the GT, no matter how decked out you get them, as far as I know. So really good question. And like I said, I'll have to look that one up myself. If somebody else knows, let me know that. Let's see here. What else do we got? Oh, wow. Let's see. Who else? Cheney22 saying, what's up, RacerX? Let's see. John saying, my house flooded near Daytona. I'm so sorry to hear that. A lot of stuff happened with this hurricane, guys. I will jump into that here shortly. Let me see who else I have missed here. Greg saying, hello, RacerX. Damien saying, hey there. Good to see you. Walt, let's go. Mopar, no car. I love it. Opie's in the house. Finally made it live. It's good to see Opie in. It's been a minute. So really good to see that. Let's see, who else do we have here? Mr. PFF Flyer, X marks the spot. I love it. Tom saying, looking forward to Friday. Absolutely. So, Tom, since I'll go ahead and I was going to talk about this later, but Tom is actually going to bring his car. It is a convertible Challenger. It's an SRT. And I'm really looking forward to doing the review on his car. So I will be filming that on Friday, hopefully bringing it to you this coming weekend. So there aren't very many convertible Challengers running around out there. So Tom is driving from, I believe, Jacksonville or around that area to come hang out with me. And we're going to do a little video. So anyway, Tom, I'm glad you could make it tonight. Thank you, buddy, for being on. Let's see here. Who else do we have in the building? William saying checking in. Let's see. Gary Plaza saying, do you know about Weston Champlin's Smokestang? I know all about it. Yes, I talked to Weston at length about his car when we were in Michigan. Hi to the German Shepherd, says Carrie. Carrie's always asking about the German Shepherd. Let's see here. Mopar Teen says, so what is this about? Well, we're going to find out here shortly. Guys, do me a big favor as you jump into the live tonight. We're about 5 minutes in, but go ahead and hit thumbs up for me. We only have 35 thumbs up. I'm hoping tonight we get a lot more than that. So yeah, if you could definitely do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Matter of fact, if you want Erebus to come say hi, Carrie, I will get him over here. He's laying over there being good. We got back from the park a little bit ago. So Erebus, come here. You come say hi. Who else we got in here? T. Browning says, good evening, X. Good to hear some, let's hear some stuff, he says. Let's see, Caleb is saying, let's see, first time on the live, love the videos, saving for my first scat pack. Well, hopefully you can keep saving your money, and hopefully the prices won't get too out of control where you can actually get one of those. Come here. You come say hi. Come on, say hi. There he is. Yes, all right. So K9X, he tends to video bomb me, guys, if you haven't noticed. He's in a lot of my videos in the background doing his thing. Yes, that's them. All right. Okay. Good boy. Go on. Go get you some water. Go on. And let's see here. Who else we got in the building? Let's see here. My man Todd Snake is in the house. I love it. B-Dog Music. Hey, all. Let's see. Hope all is well in Florida after the storm. Yes, we're going to cover that here in just a minute or two. Sean saying what's up from Virginia. Nice. Let's see here. Damien saying what's up, RacerX. I think I got this. I'm skipping all around, guys. Oh, let me jump down and see who else I've missed. Oh, I tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of jump into this. My man Patrick is on. Todd Snake, how you been? Good to see. Pat Hughes is in. Who else have I missed, guys? I'm trying to see maybe if there's somebody king size D. Is this about a Dodge? Well, we're going to cover some stuff here, guys, in just a minute. So who else do we got in here? Thomas Hutchinson from Alaska. Wow, way over there. So anyway, guys, I do want to just talk about, obviously, like the last time I was live with you, I was basically preparing for Hurricane Ian. They were extremely worried about Hurricane Ian blowing in through Tampa Bay, which hasn't taken a direct hit from a hurricane in 100 years. So essentially, none of the bridges have ever seen that kind of water. There's 3 main bridges that kind of come from that Clearwater side and St. Pete over towards more towards Tampa. It would have been awful, guys. And as luck, I say as luck for me, but as luck would have it turned directly. It kind of took a right-hand turn at the last minute, went into Fort Myers, which was awful for the folks down in Fort Myers. If any of you guys have been checking the local news stations, or I know a lot of you guys may not be local, obviously, to Florida, but it was everywhere. It was all over the news and stuff about all the damage that it did. $100 billion is the estimated damage of Hurricane Ian, only basically trumped by Katrina, which is just insane. But it was really, really bad down just 100 miles south of me, guys. That's where it went. I didn't get hardly any even wind up here, or hardly any of the rain they were expecting. So I got very, very lucky, which is kind of rare for me. I don't, it typically doesn't work that way for me, but very, very lucky that I did not get hit by that hurricane, take just basically a full force hurricane hit from that. And I don't know what was going to happen there, guys, but like I said, I got away with maybe 50, 60 mile an hour winds at the most here, which wasn't enough to do a ton of damage. I mean, some billboards and stuff were damaged, but nothing super crazy. Nothing like it was 100 miles to my south, where basically, you know, Sanibel Island got washed off the map. And a lot of other people were really, really just devastated. Very unfortunate for those people. So certainly prayers go out to those families who lost a lot of stuff. Well over 100 people died, as far as I know, so just a really bad deal. And it went all the way across Florida, and then it wrecked a whole bunch of stuff on the East Coast. It was really bad, this hurricane, guys. So anyway, if you were affected by that, certainly my heart's prayers go out to you and your family. So hopefully everybody's safe out there. Everybody came through the storm okay. Property damage, guys, it can be fixed, but it is always a little bit difficult. I still remember going down for Hurricane Harvey relief in Houston and on the Gulf Coast, and that was tough. So it's just, anytime those storms happen, guys, it is always a big deal. So at any rate, guys, that is about it on Hurricane Ian. I did not get hit directly from it. I was so fortunate, guys. That little right-hand jot at the very last minute kind of spared myself and basically a lot of my family. Most of my family does live here in Florida, and we all got pretty lucky. So I feel very fortunate. My man Todd Snake saying, "Glad you survived the hurricane, my friend." I am too, buddy. I really appreciate that. And like I said, last time I was live with you guys, it was pretty dicey. I had made all sorts of preparations for the hurricane. Bringing stuff in and just trying to make sure I had food and flashlights and propane, and just in case I lost power. Guys, I only lost power a couple times. It was very, very brief, and the power came right back on. So I was very, very fortunate. So at any rate, yeah, power of prayer, absolutely, guys. So what's Patrick say? You have a great governor and First Lady of Florida. They'll work their butt off to take care of it. They were pretty prepared. I mean, as much as they could be in Florida, they kind of had their act together. This wasn't their first rodeo down here. They're kind of used to it. I've not seen that in other places. So just all the power trucks and food and stuff. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It never is, but they were as prepared, I think, as they could be. I think it could have been a lot worse. We'll just put it that way. In so many ways, it could have been worse. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. But guys, I did get very lucky. So at any rate, that's the first thing I wanted to tackle. And thank you guys so much for so many people that reached out to me on Instagram and in my comments section and all that kind of stuff. Just, with your prayers and all that. I really do appreciate all the well wishes and just kind of checking up on me and all that stuff. So I actually put something out on Instagram where I basically just said, "Hey, thanks guys, I'm good." I had to address it after the storm because I didn't want everybody to just be, concerned or whatever. So it worked out just fine for me, luckily. So everything is cool. Let's see here. Okay, guys, let me see a couple more comments, and then I want to jump into some other stuff here. So give me one hot second. All right, let's see who else we got here. I'm gonna look for a couple folks that I maybe haven't seen here. My man Marco Jordan is in here. Is it a Daytona RT? Everybody wants to know the topic of tonight's live. Well, we'll see about all that, guys. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hey, that's I got a little super chat bumping in from let's see here, Ferdovs. I've got to work on your name. Let me see if I can get it. It's Ferdovs Yoldashev. Am I close? I hope so. Let's see. What does he say? What do you think the EV muscle cars will? Let's see here. How do you think the EV muscle cars will affect the car meetup culture and cars and coffee meetups in the future? Are they going to go away because most muscle cars become EVs? Well, I don't think it's going to necessarily affect car meetups in the future. I don't think the car meetup thing is going to be affected. One of the most, first of all, thank you for the super chat. You bring up a lot of really interesting things I could talk about and go down a huge rabbit hole. But in terms of the car meet scene, I mean, let's be honest. If I showed up at a car meet in the Banshee right now, everybody would lose their freaking mind, right? But in the future, when they're more prevalent, it's going to be just another car. You still see, if somebody's going to show up in a Roadster at like a Tesla Roadster at an event, it would get a lot of attention, whether it's electric or not. Some people just either agree with it or not. But, it's one of those things that the car culture is changing right now. A lot of people don't like the EV movement. I talked about it at today's video. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I put out a video earlier today. I talked about this at length about the future of the American performance segment. And there's a lot to talk about there. So if you haven't seen today's video that I put out at 4 o'clock, go check that out because I had a lot to really kind of digest there. But in terms of the car culture, what's really happening? Will it affect it? I don't know. It's gonna shift. It's gonna change. And the big debate right now is, are these EVs, are they really helping anything? And there's a huge debate right now. Is it, can the power grid handle it is one. That's what a lot of people are concerned about. The other piece of it is, can the cost of them, they're super expensive. People feel like the EVs are being forced down people's throats when they don't want them. And the other piece of it is the amount of energy it takes, not only to charge them, because a lot of the power plants in the country still burn fossil fuels. And the other piece of it is just to make that car, there are so many materials that have to be mined. Is it really better? And so there's all this banter back and forth, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough subject to broach. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but the car scene is shifting. That's all I can say. I really appreciate the super chat on there. And I think, car guys are always going to be car guys, whether you like EVs or whether you like traditional muscle cars with internal combustion engines. There's that piece of it. Now, some people just don't like one or the other. It is what it is. But, you know, I can still appreciate a really fast car. I mean, it is, you know, if I see a roadster at an event or something, I'm going to be like, dang, that thing's, you know, ridiculously fast. But it may not necessarily be my cup of tea. So it all just depends on your personal preference and kind of the way you look at things. So like I said, I could go on and on about that. I really appreciate it. Guys, do me a big favor. We don't even have quite 100 thumbs up. We've already got about 170 people on the live tonight. I'm going to jump into the main topic here and jump into a lot of other stuff here in just a moment. So let me see who else we've got. Only 89 thumbs up, guys. Let's see here. Thank you guys so much for the super chat so far. Let's see here. David saying thank you. Let me jump down. Roadrunner Garage, Hell Kitty Miata, if you want a sports car. That would be a death trap for sure. I've seen it done. Not recommended. So let's see here. NCL drop considering a sports car, Camaro SS or a Mustang GT. Well, of course, I have a Mustang GT. That one wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I did put a poll out on my channel. I think I talked about it last time a little bit about what everybody would want to see me get. And by and large, a lot of people answered the Dark Horse Mustang, which I thought, you know, I thought people would answer something else. So yeah, Summer Knight's kind of jumping in there. He says RT, Dark Horse. Guys, so here's the deal. I'll go ahead and talk about it real quick. I'll just broach the subject, and then I'm going to jump into a couple other things because people have been asking me tons of questions on Instagram, tons of questions on a lot of my comments. One of the questions I'm getting a lot is, why don't we see a lot of Mustang content right now? We're seeing tons of Dodge stuff. You know, when you own your Dodges, you put out a ton of content on them. When you first got your Mustang, we saw a lot of content. Well, right now, there's a couple things happening with the Mustangs. I'll address that first. The Mustang is just fine. I've been driving it. It's performing well. I have a part that I want to put in it so that I can go race it. Also, I need to buy some new tires for the car. You know, that's an expense there. So I've got a few things to get ready for race season. I don't really know. The car hasn't changed a whole lot, guys. I don't really know what else to do with the car. And truth be told, you know, I talked about this in a recent video. I saw my man James Photos jump in there as well. But you know, at any rate, there's all these new laws out there, and I'm a little bit worried about them. Florida has just passed a whole bunch of new laws about racing. If you put any sort of racing on film that's on the street, you can get all sorts of charges and stuff like that. This has just come down as of like a week ago. So if you haven't seen my video on this, go look at it. It actually got demonetized because I showed some people sliding around in Chargers and Challengers, the street takeovers, all that kind of stuff. I kind of speak out about that kind of thing. I think it's just ridiculous. But then, you know, just idiocracy in general, I speak out about. But any sort of like that sort of content where if you're caught doing exhibition of acceleration, all that stuff, and then it exacerbated by the fact that if you put it on video, it can get you in some trouble. So there's that piece of it, which really kind of sucks. You know, so any of the fun little street pulls or whatever that you might kind of, you know, maybe I've done some of those in the past. When I went to Mexico, you know, it's just one of those things. You can't do that anymore. It just, in Florida, they have put the hammer down, and I just, you know, I like my channel, guys, so I want to keep it going that way. So that's one thing. I do want to get some more track footage. Like I said, I have some more things to do to the car so I can get it going. I want to activate the two-step. I want to put this other piece in the car. I'm hoping to get a video on it and then get some new tires for the car. We'll get out there and see what the car does in some good DA, and the DA is getting better and better. Bradenton Motorsports Park came through the Hurricane just fine, luckily, because they just redid it. So it's just now getting into race season, and maybe I can get you guys some more content on the Mustang. And a lot of you guys like my race content, and that's how I kind of built my channel. So you'll start seeing more and more of that. But it's an adjustment, guys. So there's that piece of it. So let me grab a couple more comments, and then the topic of the video, I want to approach that in just a second. Let's see here. Thank you for your time. This is Damien. Let me jump down, and I had to jump around a little bit. What's Sal say? Do you think Dodge will be hit financially negatively? Ford seems to be attacking at what they're failing to fulfill. So I don't think they're being, I'm trying to understand kind of the question. I understand Dodge is not a parent company like Ford, but they should see what's there. I think what you're asking is, will Dodge's current sort of business model end up hurting them in the long run financially? I think that's what you're asking me. And I don't know the answer to that. I think Dodge is banking on the fact that this new Banshee is going to be a home run car for them, even though it's going to be a huge shift in what they traditionally offer. At this point, I don't really know, and they don't know. There's something I will mention to you real quick. I've been talking with Dodge on the phone a little bit. There are a lot of moving parts. I'll just tell you this right now. There are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes of Dodge right now. Obviously, they're not coming out with that car at SEMA that we were expecting. There are some reasons why, but they just weren't ready to give it to us. So I talked about that in a different video. The other thing is that, they know what they want to do. They're trying to figure out the timing and how to do it. And so there's just a lot of moving parts. A lot of things still are not set in stone. So as we YouTubers and we consumers and everybody else try and figure out what Dodge is doing, even they are not entirely certain I think they know what they want to do, as I mentioned, but in terms of just the way they want to do things, in terms of delivery, timing, all that, none of that has been decided yet. So it's kind of like it's like shooting at a moving target with your eyes closed. It's a little bit hard to kind of figure out something that hasn't even been determined yet. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So I will mention that. But in terms of financially, I don't know. I have a feeling when they build the Banshee, they will be able to sell those, even if you hate them, and I get it. They'll be able to sell those just as fast as they can build them, and they'll be marked up. They'll be hard to get, especially in the very highest trim levels. For a while, those cars are going to be extremely hard to get. It is what it is. So let me grab James Photos real quick. I got to find your super chats here, guys. So let me see here. There's Waltz. And where does James Photos ones? There he is. Okay, my man James Photos says, looking forward to your Mustang dragging soon. Yes, I am most definitely going to get that thing out to the track here, hopefully pretty soon. Never been out to Bradenton Motorsports Park. And hopefully get you guys some footage, and we'll see what that car can do. And I'm looking forward to it. I've got it, like I said, I got to get that 60 foot down on that car, guys. It was driving me crazy. This car still runs 9s, but it was running like high 9s at like 150 mile an hour. There's just no reason for it. So anyway, we'll see what the car will do with maybe a few other little things, little tweaks. And thank you for the super chat. And then, of course, Wally says, let's see here. Are you going to be at Cletus's Danger Ranger 9000 on Saturday at the Freedom Factory? I will not. I didn't even know he had an event going on Saturday. Don't believe I'm going to be there. It's something maybe I could consider. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I appreciate the super chat. I will definitely have to look and check his page out. Little X is going to be here visiting me this weekend, so we're going to have some fun things going on there, and I'm looking forward to that piece of it. So I don't know if I want to take her down there to that or not. If I do, it's probably going to be a pretty short stint, but I'll definitely look into it. I'll check his page on it. Thank you for mentioning it, and thank you for the super chat. So let's see, 220 people on, guys. Help me get the thumbs up a little bit. If you're in the live, please just take one hot second, hit thumbs up for me. It does help the channel. It helps the live. People know that we're live, and hopefully we get a bunch of folks on tonight. And once again, I do want to take a hot second and shout out my moderators once again. Thank you guys for what you do behind the scenes all the time whenever it comes to just comments on the normal channel, these lives, all the things that you guys do. You know what you do. Thank you guys very much for everything that you do. I really do appreciate you guys. And so let me jump down. Gary Plow says, no EVs, please. Yes, I get that a lot. I see a lot of those comments. Look at my man, Not You, jumping in. I got a lot of moderators on there. This is great. He says, what's up, Mr. X? Hell yeah, I love it. Let's see here. What does David say? Dodge will be just fine. So David thinks the Dodge will be just perfectly fine. A lot of people do feel that way, like Dodge is going to be okay. So there's that piece of it as well. So now let me jump in here. Franco, in a few years from now, most current muscle cars will be wearing historic license plates for the weekends, while electric muscle will rule. It's inevitable. Well, a lot of people do feel that way. It certainly looks like it's trending that way. The grid isn't ready. The infrastructure in terms of charging isn't ready. With the EVs, it's a tough thing because what if you live in, I mean, how many people live in an apartment, right? Not everybody lives in houses that have charging stations and all that kind of stuff. If you live in an apartment, it's hard. How do you buy an EV if you don't have a garage to put a charging port in? is something that we just have to think pretty hard about. And how will our infrastructure get caught up? That's the biggest thing. So there's just a lot to consider there. And by no means is that a dig at what an EV is, because they're interesting in the way they make power. If you've ever driven one, you know what I'm talking about. And like I said, some people will always hate them, and that's okay. But I'm by no means just in favor of just everything EV. I try and give everything its just due, and I try and give everything a chance. But I am a little bit worried about how the infrastructure is going to be when you've got a bunch more manufacturers producing these, and there's just so many charging stations out there, and if you're not in the right circumstances, you can't even consider an EV. Just like what I was mentioning. So there's that piece of it as well. Let's see here. Brandon says, I sold my Scat in July before the reveal. I would be more willing to pull the trigger on the Banshee if the charging infrastructure was more nationwide. Perfect example. Says, now I think I'm leaning towards the dark horse. So really good point. That's exactly what I was just talking about, Brandon. Fully agree. They've got to get a lot more charging stations up. They've got to figure out how to tackle this in places where there are a lot more people, right? I mean, think about a place like Manhattan or LA, right? Where you've got a lot of people. It's a densely populated area. Space is at a premium. Yeah, I realize there's parking garages, and maybe they can start putting those charging stations in a lot of the parking garages. I've seen some of that. But I mean, we are so far from, you almost have to like plumb that into the concrete when those things are made, right? It's just one of those really tough things. And as this huge shift continues to happen, something's going to have to give. They're either going to have to get a lot better at putting energy stations out there for people to charge their cars, and apartment complexes and regular gas stations. I mean, look how busy all the gas stations are still. I mean, when you go to the gas station during the middle of the day, I mean, half of them are packed all the time. How can that many people get their cars charged? It is an interesting thing to think about. So anyway, thank you for the super chat, Brandon. I agree with you 100%. It is a little bit weird. You got to ponder all these little things. All these little things tumble around in your head. Like, well, what about this? What about this? Long distance trips and da 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 da. It's just, we just have to keep working at it. Like I said, I mean, I don't want to say that EVs are bad, but you do have some limitations to them as well. So, food for thought. But anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, let me jump down here. Oops, hang on with me, guys. Let me see if I can jump in. Have I missed anybody else? No. All right, so here, I'm going to go ahead and jump into a different topic really quick. Although Juan, I didn't get Juan's real quick. So let me get Juan's comment, and then I want to talk about the topic of tonight, the main topic of tonight's video. Juan says, tough finding a Demon or SS tires, or he's talking about a super stock. Any recommendations on good tires that are as good or better than the MT-05 R315? Yes, get you a 555R. I'm sorry, not a 555R. Get you a Mickey Thompson ET Street R. That's what I've always run on my cars. They make them in 18s as well, I believe. So, Hoosier makes another one that's pretty good. I don't know how readily available they are. That's the hard part. But it just seems like even the ET Street R's are kind of hard to find right now. I need a new set for my car as well. But I've had so much luck. That is the tried and true, just hook your car right up. I mean, they're far superior to an MT-05R. But you're not going to get a lot of mileage on an ET Street R. So there's always a trade-off. The softer the tire, typically the better it grips, the worse it is in rain, and the less mileage you're going to get out of it. So it's, where on the scale do you want to be? Do you want to be up here with grip, or do you want to be over here with longevity and maybe a little bit of weathering out there? So you just have to figure out where that sweet spot is. If you don't daily it, then stick you a really sticky tire under it, and then you don't have to worry about it. If you daily the thing, I've always liked a 555 R2 from Nitto. In terms of whether it's going to fit that, though, that's a little bit of a weird size tire. So I've always run 20s. So really good question. There's several different options there. I think I could ask 20 people, and maybe they might give you 20 different answers. So it's just one of those things. But anyway, I appreciate the super chat, Juan. Hopefully that helped you out a little bit. Like I said, I love the Mickey Thompson stuff. Just don't drive them in the rain. if you need an everyday tire, the best everyday drag radial that I have found is a 555 R2 from Nitto. Also the Mickey Thompson Street SS, but finding that 18-inch is a little bit tough. So yeah, it's one of those deals. So real quick, guys. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, the topic of tonight's video, the secret build. A lot of people have been asking me to go to a different platform, go back to Mopar. A lot of people wanted to see me in the Corvette, all that kind of stuff. I am currently, I've been working on this now for a while, trying to get something going. I have not purchased a car yet, and I'm going to tell you why. And then I'm going to tell you kind of what's going on in the back of my mind just a little bit. I can't give it all away, guys. I just can't. But I wanted to sort of give you guys, I want to get some thoughts from you guys, tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. So I've been thinking about obviously doing a secret build with someone that I have access to. It's a company, obviously. And I think you guys would think it was a pretty cool build. The reason that I have not pulled the trigger on it yet, basically everything is kind of just, everything's lining up here to where we could make this go. I've already had the phone conversations, done all the legwork. I'm trying to find the right car. I already know basically the exact, it's not a new car and it can't be a new car. So put it that way. And there are reasons for it, but this car will be a few years old, not super old. It's not going to be like some of the older videos that I'm doing right now, only a few years old. And it's something I think a lot of people can relate to. And I think it's a build that we could have a lot of fun with. So I just have to buy the car. Now, the reason I have not already bought the car, and I'm just going to be super honest with you guys, is obviously I just moved to Florida. As you guys know, it's been, what, 2.5, 3 months or whatever, but it was, and I moved here to be closer to family. That was the major thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be close to my folks who live 15 minutes down the street from me. Basically, all of my remaining family is here in Florida, with the exception, obviously, of my daughter, who I still get to see a lot. So that just made sense to me to do it. But it set me back financially a little bit to make that move, right? So I still got the Mustang. I was trying to do things with the Mustang, get all that going. But in the meantime, I think I need to have at least 2 cars for the channel. I've been saying that a while. You guys have seen me try to get the TRX, right? Then you guys saw me try to, even way back in the day, I tried to get the Demon, right? It didn't work out, but you saw me try to get the TRX. You guys have seen me try to get the Z06. I've been trying, and it just, because of the circumstances, because of the market, and just weird things happening, it just has not materialized. Initially, I was going to get that C8, right? We all saw the videos, or maybe a lot of you guys did, where I chose not to, because I moved it over to the Z06 because of COVID. So it always seems like there's something going on that's just making it tough. Everybody, I won't say everybody, several people were a little discouraged when I got rid of both my Mopars. So I would love to go back and do something with Mopar. I'm not saying that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment, but I do have kind of a secret build in mind. I've already kind of got it working in terms of, it's going to be kind of a special thing. It's going to be something nobody else has done. At least to this degree. So it should be pretty neat, and I'm really trying hard to hopefully get it going. And there's 2 things that are happening right now. Obviously, I was set back, so I need to get on the right side of the financials before I pull the trigger on a car. So I'm hoping I can make this happen here in the fairly near future. Of course, I'm going to put a video out as soon as I buy the car to you guys. Just stick with me a little bit. A lot of people are getting frustrated. Well, RacerX, why do you just drive a Mustang? We don't see that much Mustang content from you. So I'm trying to explain to everybody why. There's a method to my madness. Don't worry. You see a lot of new stuff from me right now. And while I think a lot of people appreciate being filled in, a lot of people want to see more of the reviews. And the reviews right now, guys, are tough. I'm kind of watching all these comments come in. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people got their Z06 orders canceled, guys. Amelia got really lucky because she got chosen for the commercial, and she's worked very hard to get her channel where she is. She's obviously, she's a car girl, which is pretty rare in our circle, guys. You don't see that very much. And she just has a very unique set of circumstances that worked out great for her. So she got that Z06 before everybody else. She was in their commercial. She got all this cool stuff going. And now we see her out there at the drag strip and all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, that's not reality for for somebody even of a channel of like somebody like Street Speed, certainly somebody a channel of my size, which is much smaller than his, not necessarily a small channel, but you know, it doesn't seem to matter, guys. I mean, Brink of Speed, I mean, he's got a Corvette channel. You don't see very many channels that are dedicated strictly to Corvettes. That's basically what his channel is, and he couldn't get his Z06 either. And he had his deposit down at the same dealership I did, so he also got hit with that stupid $50,000 donate to charity garbage. You know, the stuff that's happening right now is ridiculous. So anyway, guys, there's that piece of it, but I am in the background trying to set up a build I think you guys should be pretty cool with. I think you guys will like it. And hopefully I can make it happen here very soon for you guys. It's going to be one of those situations where I'll buy the car, I'll have a little bit of fun with the car, you guys can check it out, and then I'm going to have to be without the car for a little bit. You guys can maybe read between the lines there, but we'll see what happens. So stick with me on this, guys. Racing season's coming. One of the main problems I'm having with doing a lot of the reviews right now, guys, is nobody has inventory. Like, I mean, all these new cars, the Escalade V, cannot find it. I cannot find a manual CT5V Blackwing. Can't find it. There's just so many cars I want to do reviews on for you guys. The 400Z, cannot find one. Anywhere near here, I don't know why, in Florida, it's so much harder to get a hold of inventory. But I'm really struggling to get a hold of the inventory. Matter of fact, there's even a new Kia that I wanted to review for you guys that is like, it's really fast. But can't get a hold of one. So I'm just struggling to get a hold of the cars that I want to review for you guys. It just seemed like the Texas market was a little better for that. And I'm still learning the area here in Tampa. So stick with me. As I mentioned, a lot of good stuff I have in the works, guys. I'm always working on new stuff for you guys, trying to keep things new and fresh, keep you guys informed. You know, obviously, you know, I'm a racer. That's kind of how I built my channel. That's what I'm known for. But I also like, you know, doing the news stuff and keeping you guys current. So there's that piece of it. Let me see here. We're almost at 200 likes already, guys. So thank you very much. 252, Hemi 392, he says, build an old IROC Z. I love that. So that's not what I'm building. Not that they wouldn't be fun. So real quick, I want to ask you guys a quick question. Wow, I see a lot of stuff coming in. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, 252 Hemi. So I really appreciate it. What did you guys think of my Trans Am video that I put out? So something really weird happened. So you guys, I've been telling you guys I'm going to start doing reviews on older cars. I found this really awesome place called Streetside Classics here in Tampa. I've never been to one of their dealerships. They've got dealerships kind of everywhere across the country. Not everywhere, but I think they've got several. And they had one in the Dallas area. I just never went, which is kind of a shame because this dealership here is amazing. But I said, I'm going to start doing some older cars. So I put out that review on the Trans Am, the 1998 Ram Air Trans Am with a supercharger on it. And that video did really well. I was amazed. And then I followed suit a couple weeks later with the 35th anniversary Camaro SS. That was a 2002 car. Same exact LS1 engine. And that video just bombed. It was so weird to see the Camaro video do so poorly and the Trans Am video do so well. And so now I'm kind of wondering, like, after the Trans Am one, I was like, oh, I'm onto something with doing these old cars. A lot of people seem to like them. It resonates with people. And then I did the Camaro one and it fell flat on its face. And I thought the Camaro video was pretty good. So now I'm just left kind of scratching my head like, do I want to go this route? But the next one I have planned for you guys is a supercharged C5. Is it the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, says Aaron. Aaron's a mess. The supercharged C5 Z06. That's the next one I want to do for you guys from over there. I'm hoping that one does, you know, it doesn't have to do as well as the Trans Am one, but I'm hoping that it'll do as well as the, much better, I'm sorry, than the Camaro one, because the Camaro one just fell flat on its face. So anyway, it is frustrating. You know, I thought it would do much better than that after watching how well the Trans Am video did, but I digress. So anyway, there is that piece of it. So let me grab a couple more comments, and then I want to talk about some of this other content that not only did I put out for you guys, but some of the upcoming stuff I have. So let me see what we got here. I'm gonna have to jump around a little bit, guys, so my apologies, because I know I missed a lot of comments. I think I'm caught up on my super chats right now. It looks like I am. Let's see here. Michael Smith, the Grand Wagoneer with the 3-liter twin turbo, 510 horsepower, 0 to 64, 7. It's quick for a big old boat. Yes, it is. It is, and I believe that is that's the Hurricane, if I'm not mistaken. So that is a pretty stout. And I mentioned this before. I said when they start putting a Hurricane, if they ever put a Hurricane in a Charger, I think that would be pretty cool. Yes, I know it won't be a big burly V8, but in terms of power and capability, it will all be there. I'm so surprised, guys, to see Dodge go full EV so fast like that. I keep hoping that maybe they're going to just pop up and be like, surprise, you know, look what we got. So anyway, look at sub 1839. Well, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. You just got the thumbs up on there. So thank you very much for your support on that. So Eric's saying I'd really love the older muscle cars too. I like them. I mean, that era, that late 90s, 2000s, man, they had some good stuff back in those days. Like, I think I've mentioned it in the past, but like, I would love to do a review on like the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, the VR4 one, the Dodge Stealth, something like that. Like, I can think of a whole slew of cars that came out back in that general time frame that I think are just freaking fantastic. That doesn't mean people watch it, but I think those are fun. They would be fun videos to do, and maybe once in a while the video would do well. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I said, I only put out 2 of those videos with the older cars, and one did fantastic, and the other one did just awful. So far, I've had nothing in between. I'm not sure what to think about that. So, Louis says, great review. Just Larry says, like you need to change it up. I'm not sure. Michael Smith saying, let's say you didn't have a mullet, you needed a mullet for the TA. Well, I mean, I guess I can go buy one. I can go ask Cletus to borrow his, maybe. I don't know. Let's see here. Sovereign Knight, RacerX's video. Oh, Sovereign Knight put the link up there for you. So I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, there's the link to the Camaro video right there on the screen. Ace Mac Vlog saying, hi, Mr. X. Thank you for chiming in, buddy. What's Tom say? 426 Elephant build. That would be an expensive build. I don't know if I'm willing to drop, 30 to 40K on a Elephant. We can't even get the Elephant right now. I mean, you can't buy one, unfortunately. I wish Dodge would call me up and gift me one, but that's not going to happen either. So, Doug saying Street Side is here in Fort Worth. Yes, you are correct. I know where it is. I just didn't know at the time, but they're pretty cool dealerships. If you guys have seen some of my reviews, I mean, you'll see them on there. Let's see. Anthony says Dodge should do away with, let's see here, and the Charger just stick to other cars because it's not a muscle car. Well, I mean, it just depends on who you ask. So, everybody, I hear a lot of that. It just really depends on, the individual person and their take. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. So, Dodge seems to think they're doing the right thing. A lot of people don't. So, 252 Hemi says, as much as I don't like Fords, they were smart. With Dodge and Chevy first to the party, no one is that. They made the 650 with both makers' cues. Yes, I agree. I mean, Ford seems to be doing things the right way. So, really good transition. Thank you again for the super chat, buddy. I really appreciate it, and that's a really good transition. So, the video I put out today was about that very thing, right? The future of American performance cars, the future of American muscle, all that kind of stuff. So if you've not seen today's video, go check it out. It's actually not doing as well as I thought it was going to do. I thought a lot of people would want to watch that. But anyway, it's a good video. I talk at length about all 3 manufacturers, and I even touch on Tesla a little bit in there. Technically, they're still one of the major auto manufacturers in the U.S. So really, it's kind of the big 4 now instead of the big 3. Even though those are the new guys on the block. But go check that video out. I did talk about it. Obviously, from Chevy. The Corvette guys, it's just not affordable for most people. That's the truth of it. Is even this regular C8. I mean, the dealer markup and all the stuff you're starting to see is just insane, right? So anyway, it's just one of those goofy things that they're not affordable. Buying a V8 car from Chevy in the future is going to be hard to do. So buying a V8 from Dodge after 2023, as far as I know, it's not going to be doable. So there's that piece of it. And then, of course, then you have Ford, right? And Ford somehow is able to come out and continue to make these V8s in high quantity. That's the only one that's doing it, right? So that means they've built up enough EPA credits to be able to do something like that. But yeah, they've been putting out all these other, like when they moved the Mach-E out there, and they've been putting out all these other like hybrids and stuff that get good mileage. Ford seems to have a pretty good game plan, and they've been executing on it for years, right? Even when you look at like what they did, say with the Raptor, when they moved it over to the EcoBoost, it was a more capable vehicle. It got better mileage, and so they've been making all these little steps. So the release of the 650, it's not like they just planned this like 6 months ago, and they're like, oh, by the way, we can do this. They did their homework to find out how can we continue to put out V8s. We need this many sales of this many sales. So we're going to put all these other things out there for the vast majority, and then we can keep our fun factor intact. And so kudos to those guys for putting a long-term plan together and sticking to it and just making it go. Because they seem to be doing both fairly well. I mean, the Dark Horse is pretty cool looking. They've rumored a 7.3 Godzilla with twin turbos in it. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe from Ford right now that seems pretty appealing. And they're going to be the only game in town for under really 100,000. So I mean, you're going to have the Mustang GT and the Dark Horse. The Dark Horse is probably going to be 70 grand or more, guys. So don't expect that to be super affordable, but it's not 100,000 or more. Certainly less than a Corvette would be. And you've got the regular Mustang GT, which is slightly less horsepower, but still like 480 naturally aspirated, and we know how well the Coyotes take to mods. So you have that piece of it, and that's in a newer body with a newer interior and all that kind of stuff. So there's, I mean, a lot of people that said, hey, look, I've never liked Fords, they suck, all this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, everybody's going, you know what, I might have to take a little bit of a look at Ford, which is just weird because, yeah, while the Banshee is cool, it's a whole new different business model that they're coming out with on the Banshee too, in terms of like, hey, we're going to give you this base model. They're going to give you 3 of them, right? Almost like an SXT, a Scat Pack type offering, and a Hellcat type offering, those tiers. And then in each one of those tiers, you get power bumps from direct connection that'll bump up the horsepower. And it's simply basically just you go into the dealership, they put a few goodies on there. Basically, it's a software upload, and off you go for however much they decide it's worth. And then, of course, if you buy that middle tier, it's the same kind of thing. You can upgrade, say, 100 horsepower, maybe after that another 75 horsepower. And then, of course, you've got the third tier up, that maybe that Hellcat-ish type tier. Who knows how much power it's going to make? We have a lot of stuff to find out on that, guys. But I did put a video out about that. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that process, right? Is it right of Dodge to sell a vehicle knowing it's already watered down? All they have to do is a software update to pick up 100 horsepower. We see Tesla kind of doing it. But when it comes to electrics, does it make sense? The manufacturer's capitalizing rather than letting the aftermarket companies kind of do their thing. Boy, there's so many shifts in the automotive world right now, guys. It is just, everything is shifting. The way that dealers do business, the way that manufacturers manufacture these vehicles, the types of power plants. I mean, it's just, everything is just being spun completely on its head. It's weird. It's a weird time. So, wow, I've got a lot of comments here, guys. Let's see here. Drag van for people who have a 2018-2019 Mustang GT 350 if the battery is replaced, and get codes. He's talking about codes 0300, 306, and 308. Need to misfire profile reset. So definitely good info there from my man Drag Van. Hopefully that Drag Van of yours is running okay. Definitely think that's a pretty cool vehicle as well. So yeah, thank you for chiming in with that super chat, and I appreciate the support as always. So let me see who else I have missed. Great content with Dodge, says Ouija86. Who else here? John McElroy. Hell, I'm trying to get a 8.1 Vortec to replace my LQ9 and my Silverado. Those are tough to find. Yep, I believe that 100%. Let's see here. Eric Taylor, I would love to see you do a 5.7 Charger or Challenger build. Just have to hang on and see what happens here, guys. So Trinity Motorsports, so sad we'll never see a ZL1 or the Z28 with road legal 632. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. It would be cool, but it ain't gonna happen. Real quick, guys, we're almost at 200 likes, so do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up for me. I would really appreciate it. Oh, let's see who else we got in the building. I'll tell you what, there's Pam. I haven't seen Pam in a while. Hey, RacerX, I'm super late tonight. Not a problem. 252 Hemi. Best collab would be you, Herman, and Stang Mode. You know, all three of us were in one place at the Motorplex, but it's been a while. It's been like a year and a half when Stang Mode came down to one of Demonology's events. And we did all kind of get together for that. But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm still trying to set up that collab with RT Life as well. I know he's got a few things going on with that car, but I think that would also be a fun collab. So definitely thank you for the super chat, and I appreciate it. Lots of stuff tumbling around in my brain, guys, on different collabs that we can do. So what other, let's see here. So today we talked about the future of performance video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It is a, it's a pretty, I think it's a pretty good video. I mean, it brings up a lot of different points on, you know, the future of American muscle or even performance. Also, the Banshee, I just talked about it, but I did put out a video about the 2024 Banshee pricing structure. I even did a bar chart to give you guys a really nice graphic of what that could look like in case there's any confusion. I tried my best to explain exactly how that's going to work. Never seen Dodge do anything like this leading up till now. So it's definitely a different way to do it. I talked about the 35th anniversary Camaro. That video is floating around out there. Almost nobody watched it. I thought it was a pretty cool video and a really cool car. It's mint condition. So if you haven't seen it, go check out that review. I thought it was pretty neat. Also, guys, this is kind of the next subject I want to talk about. The 300C from Chrysler. I kind of gave you guys a video initially about what I thought it was going to be. Turned out that's exactly what it was, 6.4 liter. That's the only thing that made sense. And now, of course, Chrysler has put out basically stipulations to the dealerships saying, hey, look, you know, we expect this is how we're going to do all of the, deposits. They're going to put it down through the website, then they can pick their dealership. Dealerships, we would ask that you don't mark these up. And so now we're starting to see Chrysler sort of take the reins a little bit and start kind of giving dealerships some, it's hard for them to just say you can't do this, but they are strongly encouraging dealerships to sell at MSRP. And I believe there will be a little bit of backlash if dealerships decide to just ignore that. And that's just what I've been told. So I won't go any further than that, but what that means is that we're starting to see a lot of progress on this dealer markup thing. And I'm super excited to see that, guys. That's another thing that I may have some more content for you guys on, is this dealer markup. You guys have seen my petition on change.org. Hopefully you guys have signed it. We're at like 46,000 signatures on that, right abouts. I need to get to 50,000, guys. So if you haven't shared that or signed it, please go do it. I would really appreciate it, but I'm speaking out against this, what I feel like is a very unfair practice, what the dealerships are doing. Somebody sent me something the other day where somebody had one of those Cadillac V's, Escalade V's, and the dealership marked it up. The employee price was $100,000 over sticker. What a nice thing to do for your employees, right? What a great thing. That was the employee price, $100,000 over MSRP. How nice of them to do that. It just never ends. But anyway, Ford has already said we're setting the price on our new EV lines. They haven't done anything with the internal combustion stuff yet, but their CEO has already made no bones about the fact he does not like the way that the dealerships are doing the customers right now. He hates it. Something's got to change. And now all of a sudden, we see new mandates from Ford coming down about their EVs, and dealerships have all sorts of stipulations, including they can't gouge people on the price. And that's a huge step in the right direction. So now we're starting to see the manufacturers step in and start to do things right for the consumer. And that is one of the biggest things that I've always said. And I wouldn't have an issue if they didn't have MSRP on it, guys. Fine, sell it for whatever you want to sell it for. Dealers have at it, gouge people, whatever. But if you have an MSRP on a car, you should honor that when a customer comes in and wants to buy it. That's the advertised price. It's the price they put out there for everybody to see, the price that you should be able to buy the car for no more than that. And dealerships simply won't allow it. And you can't buy directly from the manufacturer. You have to buy through them, and they gouge you. It is a really messed up system. And so, you know, it is what it is. So I'm trying to fight against that. I'm trying to reach out. I'm only one guy. I need everybody's voice. I need everybody to be heard. If you don't think it's right, go sign my petition, share it. And I am going to try my best to at least put that knowledge out there to anybody that will basically listen and say, hey, look, guys, this is messed up. I'm already working with a couple of government organizations. I won't go into a lot of detail about it because I may have a video about it at some point if something happens. But anyway, I digress. That is what's going on there. But I love to see that Chrysler is stepping in as well and starting to do the right thing. I did see a couple other super chats come in. Let's see here. Who did I miss? Who did I miss here? Bear with me. Oh, let's see here. Aaron says, let's see, that thing is sexy. Beautiful car, the 300. Yes, Aaron, I fully agree. And 252 Hemi says, let's see, you need to get your car to be faster than the Mamba. The only way my car would be faster than the Mamba, I don't know what he's running in that. Isn't he running like high 8s in the Mamba? My car is more than capable of doing it if I throw if I have to put an engine and a trans in the car. And then, of course, the car would be capable of running a crazy number because I'm only running at most 12 pounds of boost through it. The turbos will flow 30. You can imagine how much power the car will make. But then it's full race car mode. If I go that direction, it's basically go full race car mode, throw a fully built motor into it, and then go ahead and put a fully built 10R80 in it. And it becomes way less drivable. So right now, because it's my only car, I haven't been able to go that route. So a lot of things will be changing here at some point, guys. But a really good point, good observation. I'd love to run the Mamba sometime, but I'm gonna have to turn the car up. And then of course, we'll see how it goes. But he's got that car running good as far as I know. So, and then of course, he's got the Hulk too, right? That's that GT500. I mean, they're fast. They're good running cars. So he sounds like third motor with that thing, but he's had a little bit of issue with that. But yeah, he's got it running good. So my man Stang Mode doing his thing. And then Marco says, I've driven the new Escalade V and it's not worth the money. So interesting point there. He says the interior is a base model Escalade with some V stickers on the outside. That's kind of what I thought. I want to review one for you. I just cannot get a hold of one, guys. It's just not happening. So thank you for the super chat. Really, really good observation there. I'm glad at least you had an opportunity to find one and drive it. So you're among the minorities there. I haven't even driven one yet, which is usually I get a hold of like all these cars before everybody else, but right now I'm not getting a hold of squat. So it's kind of tough, but I do really appreciate that. Good stuff. And thank you for the support. Real quick, guys, I talked about the new laws coming down in a lot of states. And that is something, I put out a video about it. So that's why you don't see hardly any Mexico videos from me really much anymore and all that. I just have to you got to be careful. You got to be careful anymore because it just, we all saw what happened with Family Cruising, right? And that was such a bummer. He had his whole channel ripped away and just, it was really terrible what happened to that guy. And it seemed like a nice enough guy and it was just a sad deal. So we don't want any part of that. What else to say about it? I did put out a video also. A really interesting thing came across. Somebody sent me an article about the Challenger and why the Challenger was not upgraded. Not to say upgraded, it wasn't changed to the Alfa Romeo Giulia platform because they could have done that. They could have made it lighter. They could have made it smaller. And this was all the way back in 2014, right? And they chose not to. They chose to keep it on that heavy, older chassis. Keep the car big the way that it was. And a lot of people think that was the smart thing to do, but they definitely had an option to do it. Certainly working with Alfa, who's also under the same parent company, it was doable. But Tim Kuniskis basically said, look, that just wasn't, it just didn't make sense to do it. Why you fix something that ain't broke, so to speak, is basically what he said. So yeah, I put out a video about that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I basically talked about why the Dodge Challenger was never upgraded is basically what it was. It was about a week ago. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. We are at 223 likes, guys. We are doing good tonight. Real quick, will the last Halo Hellcat be special? This is something that a lot of people go back and forth on, right? We've seen 6 of the 7 special edition Challengers and Chargers come out now, right? We've seen 2 Hellcats. We've seen essentially 3 Scat Pack variants, and of course, one of them was the Swinger edition and available in both the Charger and the Challenger. So that's why you have 6 total. And the one car they said they were going to release at SEMA they're not ready to release, so it will not be at SEMA. That's the one Tim said was destined for the history books. So will it be special? Will it be just another sticker package? Will it be the RacerX package? I not that I'm aware of. But you know, will it be special? Will it be this 900 to 1,000 horsepower E85 Hellcat that's been rumored? Will it be something entirely different? I don't know. What will Dodge have for us at SEMA? That's the next thing I want to talk about, because I will be at SEMA November 1st through the 3rd. And on the day of the 3rd, which is the Thursday, I will be in the MagnaFlow booth at 3 o'clock doing signings. So I want to make sure everybody knows that. So I'm also going to be there covering a lot of what Dodge is doing. I think a lot of people, there's not nearly the presence that Dodge was going to have once Dodge announced that they weren't going to release this car, this number 7 special edition car at SEMA. So a lot of the Dodge folks canceled their flights. They're not going to have nearly the presence that they were going to. So I will put that out there. That's something I learned today. I have it on 100% good authority. So, you know, but they'll still be out there. They may still have some reveals, and they actually don't know right now what they're going to reveal at SEMA. So I'll put that out there for you guys to kind of digest on that just a little bit. But they will be some reveals. We just don't know exactly what. So I'm waiting on a schedule from them so I can either bring it to you live or do a video on it. I want to be one of the first people to bring you whatever they decide to come out with. So we'll wait and see what happens. But anyway, guys, I will be at SEMA the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of November. So what, just a few weeks from now, I will be there in Las Vegas. So if you can come out, please come out. Come by and say hi to me. Like I said, I'll be kind of hovering around the MagnaFlow booth. I'll be walking around the show, but I will definitely be there at 3 p.m. on Thursday, which is the, what is that? That is the 3rd. And I'll be there to sign, you know, signing stuff and saying hi to everybody and just having a good time. So please come by if you're going to be at SEMA. I'd love to see you there. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew about that. And let's see here. And I mentioned I got the truth from Dodge. That was my last video that I wanted to talk about. And that is why they didn't release the last SEMA edition car. You know, hence the whole thing with me being at SEMA is because they just weren't ready to do it. They said the timing wise, it wasn't right. They wanted to make sure they didn't promise something they couldn't deliver. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, the stage kits apparently have been fixed. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, can you get a hold of Direct Connection? For the longest time, they've been trying to get them cleared in terms of making sure they were CARB compliant. Apparently, the stage kits are now available on Direct Connection. So I wanted to add that piece as well. So if you have a red eye, if you want to do the stage kits, I believe those are now orderable through the Power Broker dealers. So definitely go do that if it's something that has intrigued you in the past and you think it's worth doing. So there's that piece of it as well. Let me grab some more comments, guys, and then I want to talk about a little bit of, just a couple other quick things before we end tonight. So it's been a fun little live, guys. Nothing super crazy tonight, but obviously the big thing is tonight's thumbnail, you saw it, was, hey, look, you know, maybe I'm working on a secret build behind the scenes. Just trying to have a little bit of fun with something. I've got to get it, you know, I still got some other pieces to put in place before I go out and buy another car right now, guys. That's the biggest thing. So if I can get some other pieces to fall in place, hopefully you guys will get to see something here soon. So saw a couple other super chats come in. Aaron says, not everyone can get into SEMA. How can fans get into CU? I believe that you can get you can get a general public pass for SEMA. That was what I was told. So I think as a normal person, you can get into SEMA. It's just a ticket that you buy, unless I've missed something. So Aaron, hit me up on Instagram if you don't see it on their website. But I'm told that just the normal people, normal fans can come into SEMA and look around the show, and I've got to look and see if there's any like stipulations on those, but I believe I don't believe that there's anything crazy with it. I'll check. I'll double check it. Hit me up on Instagram. We'll talk about it. Also, 252 Hammy 392 says, I think they saw the backlash on the sticker only cars and said, let's go back and try again on the last car. So, you know, I don't know about that. I think really good point on that. A lot of people have kind of hypothesized that it was going to be just another sticker car. But here's the thing. They said, Tim, being they, he said during his press conference up there when they were doing all the unveilings, right there, he said, this one is destined for the history books. That was on night number 1. So in my mind, it was never going to be just a sticker package, if I'm being honest. I think that they did see the backlash, that people thought they were going to be more special, you know, because they were maybe going to make more power. Or I like the Super B thing on the Charger because they give you the drag radials and stuff, but I think people expected them to be just a little more special rather than just kind of paint and stickers, and maybe some wheels you've seen on a couple other packages in the past, things like that. But I think the last one, there was a reason they wanted to show it at SEMA. There's a reason Tim said it was destined for the history books. I think there was more to that car. I really do believe that in terms of what it was or how much it was. You know, part of my mind thinks that maybe the car was, they couldn't get it carb compliant. I feel like maybe that could be a thing. Like, for example, if it's an E85 Hellcat, you know, that makes 900 something horsepower, were they able to get it all 50 states carb compliant? That's the whole reason we didn't see a Elephant come out. That's the big reason, guys. It wasn't anything other really than the fact that they couldn't get the thing carb compliant. It's the same thing you hear about when I talk about, you know, with a lot of my sponsors, like with MagnaFlow. I mean, they're always worried about trying to make sure it's 50 state compliant. Same thing like Hellion, they're always trying to figure out, hey, can we make this 50 state compliant, because then it opens up a whole new world for us. You know, so that's my biggest thing is I kind of think they had it in mind that they wanted to do it. So either one of two things, either they figured out they couldn't build enough of them because of the part shortages, and I have it on good authority that that is a huge problem right now at Dodge, and that's why we're starting to see such low limited production vehicles come out. And the fact, you know, we've got this other one lingering out there that they're not sure they can deliver. Parts, supplies, all that kind of stuff, they're really feeling that piece of it right now. So there's that. I don't necessarily think it was because of this, you know, the backlash, my personal thoughts. So anyway, guys, food for thought on that. Really, really good. You're not the first person to say that. Really good observation. You know, we'll see. We'll see what they give us. I was really looking forward to bringing it to you at SEMA, but maybe they'll give us something else that's pretty cool. They're having meetings all this week about what they really want to show us up there. So your guess is as good as mine at this point, guys, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me grab a couple more comments here. Let's see. RT Steph, talking to Sovereign Knight. Let's see. Will Demonology be at SEMA? As far as I know, he's supposed to be there. I've not talked to him about it. I should probably call him and see. Let's see, Mystic Zeras, I think. I'm trying to make sure I pronounce that right. I would love to have a 1970 Challenger 426 Hemi, but they're one of the rarest cars. Absolutely, they're really hard to get. They're very cool cars. That's why you're starting to see Dodge come out with those older bodies that you can just put engines in, because a lot of people do love that body style, and they're just really hard to get. So there's that piece of it as well. Let's see. Michael Smith says card compliance is deep pocket money. Yes, it is. That's the problem. And we're all starting to feel it. So definitely something to think about there. Eric says, I think Ford made Dodge Stellantis scared with their new 7th generation release 2024 Mustang GT rear-wheel drive V8. Yes. Well, I mean, I think they just were ahead of the game a little bit in terms of having enough credits to be able to bring us something like that. So there was, like I said, there was a lot of forward thinking at Ford to be able to continue that lineage of that Mustang V8 true pony car, right? So, you know, like I said, the Chevy, I would love to see Chevy come out with maybe a redesigned whatever. I would love to see if they could come out with a, you know, I love the Trans Am, but I mean, it was a Pontiac. So, but I mean, if they could come out with something else, something new that had a V8 in it that was lightweight, that was not nearly the money of the Corvette, because let's face it, the Corvette has gotten out of control from a price perspective, guys. It would be neat to see them come out with something. The door is there. It's like the opportunity is there. They're investing a lot of money in EVs. Chevy is. They can't produce hardly enough Corvettes. They just can't produce them. I really wish they could produce something. It doesn't have to be necessarily the Camaro. Maybe it's something else. But there is a serious void out there right now for a lightweight V8 that hits the right price point. It doesn't have to be the craziest, most state-of-the-art thing, but as long as you give it some nice features, design it right, and give it a nice V8. It doesn't have to be a supercharged V8, and put it at the right price point. I guarantee you people will buy the garbage out of it, but there are too many factors working against them. I'd love to see it. I don't expect it. So anyway, there's that. So let me see who else we got here. Okay. Jesco 1227, what's your thoughts on the Cybertruck? I got one on order. Oh, I knew somebody was going to ask me about the Cybertruck. I think the Cybertruck is absolutely one of the ugliest vehicles I've ever seen in my life. It is just hideous. It looks kind of like a street version of the Stealth Fighter, but it doesn't look as good. Now, that's just my opinion. Will it be capable? Yes, it will be very capable. They're talking about how capable the Cybertruck will be. Once again, I don't think they're going to be able to produce nearly enough of them. I think their demand is going to be insane for what they're actually going to be able to produce on them. It would be weird to see one of those going down the road because it looks so different than anything else anybody's ever seen on the road. It just looks really strange. It looks like a spaceship, literally. And to make it be a truck, to fit into the truck segment, it's just weird. But that doesn't make it wrong. So, will it be capable and functional and have some neat features? Absolutely. Will it be expensive? Hell yeah. And I can't get past the looks of it. I really wish that they hadn't made it. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We'll just put it that way. It is not an attractive looking vehicle to me. I would never consider one. But I mean, I thought the Hummer, by contrast, was awesome. I really enjoyed driving the Hummer. I thought that vehicle was sick. All the little bitty details they put into that thing. If you've ever been around one or seen one, they look like a beast. It is a 9,000-pound monster that goes 0 to 60 faster than a Hellcat. It is inexcusably ridiculous. And I think that thing looks awesome. But I do not like the Cybertruck. It's just, maybe it's one of those things, I'll see it in person and it'll grow on me, but I don't know. But in terms of being capable, functional, all that kind of stuff, probably will be pretty cool from those things. So I don't know. That's an interesting question. But I'm being honest with you about how I look at the Cybertruck. I just can't get on board with it. It's just ridiculous looking to me. But really good question, and I really appreciate it. So anyway, guys, we're getting pretty close on time here. I do want to cover just a couple other quick things. My buddy Stangmo just put out a video recently about the fact that they won't be able to tune the S650 right away. Aaron's saying the new Hummers are 160 now. Yes, I know it. Well, and some of them were going for even more than that with the dealer markup and stuff. They sticker at like 110, and they come decked out. So, but you can't get one for anywhere near that. It's just ridiculous. As I mentioned before, guys, the Chevy seems to be the worst right now in terms of dealer markup. They're worse than anybody. I don't know why. It's not that Dodge isn't doing ridiculous stuff too. Some dealerships. And you're seeing some stupid stuff on like the F-150 Lightnings at Ford. You're seeing bad markups there. But by and large, the worst offenders seem to be the Chevrolet dealers in terms of just how crazy they're being and how greedy they're being. It's just, I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. So I digress with that. I'm still kind of sore at Chevy already. Not that I don't love the vehicle. It's not the vehicle's fault. I think the Z06 and the C8, even the Camaro, they're great machines. The Z06 is fantastic. That's why I wanted one. But the business practices, the ignoring and just the making people feel just completely unimportant and unappreciated and blowing you off, and just what they're letting the dealerships do after telling us they weren't going to do that. I've kind of lost it for Chevy at the moment. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, so we talked about more racing footage. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this live, my buddy is coming down with his convertible Challenger. I'll be filming that on Friday. I'll have a video out to you guys hopefully by the weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, the next older car that I want to do, like a 2000 to 2002 supercharged C5 Z06 Corvette in a manual. Of course, they only are available in manuals. I want to see how that video would do. Hopefully you guys think, would you watch that video? Do you think it'd be neat? I used to own several C5 Z06s. I still love that car. They're very light and a lot of fun to drive. So I look forward to bringing you guys that content when that car finally shows up down there at Street Side Classics. A lot of people are asking me for more Mustang content. I will see what I could do on that, guys. And I've got, like I said, I've maybe a collab with RT Life, and there's some other things out there kind of tumbling around that I hope to be able to give you very soon. So my biggest message for today is, stick with me on this stuff, guys. Like I said, a secret build. I'm working in the background on a lot of things. On the dealer markup thing, I'm working on the background about trying to get a second car for the channel. I'm working on the background about how to do some more racing with the car that I have. I'm working in the background on different collabs with different YouTubers. So, I mean, it is a lot of work to just to get all this stuff going, but I'm definitely working on some things behind the scenes, guys. So stick with me. I really appreciate it. Continue to give me your feedback. Sovereign Knight putting my petition up there to speak out against dealer markups. So if you haven't signed it, please go do that. Like I said, share it with your friends and family. If you feel like it's wrong, yes, Sovereign Knight, I appreciate it, buddy. Definitely definitely go through and sign it and show your support and help me out, guys. Remember, I'm only one guy, so I can't do it by myself. 252 Hemi says, if you're not subscribing, please do. It costs nothing, but helps give more honest, unbiased opinions. Yes, I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you guys. You guys are absolutely fantastic. We are right at time here, and I know I missed a million comments. I do want to add, guys, I haven't been putting out a lot of stuff on Instagram. Instagram, just as a platform, had really frustrated me, but I will try and do better. I kind of let just my frustration with Instagram and the stuff that seems to succeed on Instagram sort of frustrate the hell out of me. And you see these channels blow up with just people that you're like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. That some of the people get these crazy views that, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Instagram is. But anyway, I do have Instagram, so I'm going to continue to check my Instagram messages. So that's a good way to get a hold of me. I'll try and put out more content on Instagram here coming very soon. So I'll definitely work on that a little bit, and I will get back into posting more stuff, more reels and all that stuff on Instagram. RacerX Official, if you want to reach out to me there. I'm really good at returning messages. I don't always get it the same night or something, but I almost always answer when you guys get me on Instagram. At least I definitely try. Let's see here. Oh, also, I'm still working on my website, guys, because I want to be able to give you guys some specialty merchandise. That's also happening in the background. So a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, guys. So the merch and the website thing is still happening. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. Like I said, I'm so sorry if I missed your comments here, guys. But man, I do appreciate all the support. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys a lot more stuff going into the end of this year, moving into next year. Like I said, I think I need to be at least a 2-car channel. And we'll see. We'll see if we can make that happen for you guys and continue to give you guys new content, relevant content. I'll still do the news stuff because I feel like it's good to keep you guys informed. But I've also hopefully get back into racing a little bit. That would be fun. I really enjoy racing, as you guys know. And we'll get back into it here very soon. Like I said, I want to get these collabs in as well. And hopefully I can collab with somebody like Weston here as well. We talked about that. So we'll just wait and see what happens. Anyway, guys, that's about it for me tonight. I came through Hurricane Ian just fine. Thank you guys for all your support with all that stuff. Once again, a huge shout out to my moderators for always being there for me and making sure these live streams go really clean and smooth and catching the weird comments that come through on some of my videos. And you guys are fantastic, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're at over 157,000 subscribers on the channel now. That is awesome. So good on you guys. Thank you all, and I appreciate each and every one of you, as I mentioned. And as I always like to mention at the end of my lives, make sure that you always remember what's important. Hold your families tight. It's a crazy world out there. You just never know. Each day is a gift, and it is a blessing. So thank you guys once again for tuning into my live, and please leave a comment down below if you didn't get to watch the live as it happened tonight, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.